I am Dr. G. Rumay Alexander. I am a professor in the School of Nursing, an assistant dean in the School of Dentistry at UNC Chapel Hill. I am a member of the Leapfrog group, which rates hospitals for safety and ambulatory care centers in the country. I am also the scholar in residence for ANA, working with the commission to address racism in nursing. The profession has had its great moments, and it has hidden some of the not so great moments. But I think we're in a place at time where we need to really talk about what it is that's keeping us from being all that we can be. We're losing opportunities of innovation because some folks can get in and some folks can't get into the profession. And for those that actually do manage to get in the profession, there's a lot of pain and suffering. It's important for us to talk about that now, because when we don't have enough nurses, the country is not safe. We are the surveillance system for our patients. And so the ability to hire nurses of various backgrounds, to be able to educate those nurses, the ability to provide care to the demographically changing populations, and the fact that in this point in time, we need to get beyond some of the other barriers. We've really been careful in the nursing space to talk about how great we are in terms of the most trusted profession in the country, above firefighters and policemen and clergy. And yet, for those of us in the profession, we also know that that outward appearance has cloaked us in a way that doesn't allow us to talk about what happens internally. And we're having that honest conversation that, quite frankly, some of our majority colleagues knew nothing about, because that's not their lived experience. And they've never really heard an honest conversation about how it creates the moral suffering, how it murders the spirit when we're assaulted because of biases and prejudices and preconceived notions and ideas of superiority. The research tells us that about 7 times a day, if you're from a minority group, you're going to be reminded you're from a minority group. So imagine that. It's like having a bruise on your hand. And the first hit of that bruise, you might say, ouch. But by the 3rd time, it's gotten really sore. And if you keep hitting it in the same space. And then by the 5th time, you're now guarding it, because you're anticipating that somebody might do something to you. And that changes how you interact, whether you speak or not speak. So these are the invisible things in the environment, in the culture, that dictate how you do what you do in the ways that you do it. Quite frankly, demographically, the country's changing. So this whole conversation around who comes into the country, who's practicing beside us, and who speaks another language, and who has an accent, or whose generation may be different, or their sexuality may be different, or their body size may be different, are all things in the workspace that we need to really pay attention to, because violence, one act, reverberates through 4 generations. We have to understand that it's not just the movement or the tremble we set in the present moment, but we have sent a tremble that goes on for 4 generations. And if we had a chance to look back at it, would we be proud about what we set a tremble in the lives of other people? And that has a lot to do with how we see each other, treat each other, understand each other, relate to each other. That's why this work is important.